Hi. Good afternoon. My name is Joakim. For those who have only been seeing me on the small screens in your pockets, today we all share the privilege of sharing one roof. And as we also say, I'm a Christian also, and mostly in our church service, as we finish. And I want to use that statement in the beginning of this address, that today is the great day that the Lord has made. We should therefore rejoice and be glad in it. Are you rejoicing? I know we have more than enough reasons to frown, but we have infinite reasons to smile. Makofi Jamen. As I said in the last event like this, Face the People, I really struggle when I carry written speeches. It looks like I'm taking people through a lecture, so I try to make my speech to be as interactive as possible. I am the Secretary General of Safina Party, and as the MC has said, I am one of the Gen Zs, although I look a little bit older. It's because of the genetic composition of where I come from. We look older than we are. You know, I remember even when I was in Sunday school, my Sunday school teachers used to remove me from my age mates. Wananipeleka kule kwa watu wakubwa kunishinda. And it has been like that up to where we are today. And by grace of God, today I get to share tables and podiums with men and women of means and men who are actually clear with the agenda that Kenya has to be better. And allow me to send the greetings of my party leader, Jimmy Wanjigi. Ametuma salamu, chama ni Safina, safi na pesa. Chama ni safi. And Jagero talked about something here that I want to talk about because I really have what we call the passion for it. That for a long time now, the political discourse of the country has been about expanding our democratic spaces. And also this town hall aims at bringing political discussions down to the people where they belong. But the question is, why are the young people feeling like they need to take over the reins of leadership? What is it that those who came before us have done that we feel they have let us down? And what is it that those who came before us have done that we feel have contributed to the growth of our country? I stand here to appreciate, first of all, the efforts made by our fathers and mothers who came before us, who put their lives on the line, risked their lives. Some of them did not even enjoy honeymoon with their wives because of the agenda they were fighting for. At that time, enlarging the democratic space of our country, because Kenya was a single party state. And one of the notable figures in that struggle is none other than Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who risked it all to achieve this dream. And today we stand here and we look back and we say, do we really need to continue with that trajectory or take a little bit a different path? I was asking Alionya today as we were coming that what is the problem that Kenyans are talking about every day? When a parent complains about his inability to pay school fees, what is the reason? When you struggle to even afford basic medical care, what is the reason? When you have to choose between paying bus fare to go to work or buy your child something to eat, what is really the issue? It's not about who are you against or who are you for. What are the issues that affect the Kenyan people? And which kind of country would you like your children and your grandchildren to inherit from you? That's why I talk about economic liberty, which is the ultimate liberty. That it's about the power in your pocket that speaks at the end of the day. I am sure there are people who would like to be here today, but they are not here because they couldn't even afford bus fare. And they will wait for these videos. It's about the economy in your pocket. And they were asking questions. Why is it that we are struggling to even maintain our day-to-day lives, affording the basic things that help us live our lives on a daily basis? I look at the government policies, and one of the reasons why I am categorized as one of the very fierce critics of the current regime is that there are things we are doing as a government that are negatively affecting the lives of the people. I keep talking about the issue of debt, like Jagero has mentioned. How does debt affect our lives? It might seem like a very big topic that doesn't concern you, but it affects you even if you are in that slum called Nyalenda and the other one lives in Ketisuru in Nairobi. And this is how it affects you. In this year alone, we have a budget of 4.3 trillion in this financial year. Our estimated domestic revenue streams are at 2.5, 2.8 if we have to be very generous. That's the money that we are going to raise with our own taxes, VAT, customs duty, and all that. We are going to raise like 2.8 trillion. The public debt in this financial year is going to consume 2 trillion, almost half of our budget. In our internal revenue streams, we are only going to remain with 800 billion. Government operations per year cost around 600 billion. Salaries for government cost around 400 billion. Only those two, we already have a deficit of 200 billion. We have not talked about counties that consume almost 415 billion. Where are we going to raise the money to finance our budget? The government will resolve to use two things: tax you more and borrow more, because we will have to finance a deficit of more than 1 trillion shillings. As I speak to you, the government has a public debt of almost 12. At the end of this financial year, it will be 13. It means that as we continue, the pain will only increase, because the government will only opt to use those two ways to raise money, which is taxing you. When a government decides to tax you, they are going to raid your pay slip if you are employed. They are going to raise levies. Petrol will go high. When petrol goes high, it affects you because owners of matatus will have to fill that deficit, what increase fare, and all this, everything goes up. So we're asking ourselves, even as we make noise about the current regime, what is it that the next government that is coming that must do that favorite candidate that you have in your head for presidency, what is he coming to do different? In my party, and the party of Safina, my presidential candidate is talking about 5 things that are coming to make life a little bit easier. Very revolutionary moves. Issue number 1, we call it the fist agenda. The fist has 5 fingers. Finger number 1, as I finish, because I only have 10 minutes, is not paying the odious debt. And people are asking, like, we took this debt, how can we fail to pay? In our Constitution, chapter 12, for those of you who love reading, is about public finance. And according to our Constitution, a government should only borrow for development. And the borrowing of government must be approved by Parliament. And the borrowed money must come in through the consolidated fund. So any amount of money that was not pegged on a development agenda, was not approved by Parliament, did not come through the consolidated fund, it's an illegal debt, we are not going to pay. That's issue number 1. Issue number 2, zero domestic borrowing by government. When a government borrows locally, they are coming for money in the open market. How do they access the money in the open market? The money in the open market is found in banks, pension funds, and insurance companies. When a government borrows locally at an interest rate of 16.39%, how much will that bank be willing to lend to a private individual like you? It will be almost 20%, which makes it very exorbitant for you to do what? To access a loan. Banks made profit by lending the money they have. They do a business of selling money. So when they have a big customer called the government, they will be unwilling to lend to you because the risk of lending to you is higher than lending to government. It's almost 100% sure that the government will repay the loan. As we speak right now, we have almost 600 billion non-performing loans, which means Kenyans have defaulted. When we stop government from borrowing locally, the banks will be stranded with money. They need to make profit for their shareholders, which means they need to lend it to someone. That someone is you and me. We will begin witnessing events like banks pitching tents in front of churches, in marketplaces, wakikwambia tafadhali kuja uchukue hii loan, like it used to happen when Kibaki was president. Ungeona tent ya Equity Bank almost everywhere. Agenda number 3 is free healthcare. When I get time, I'll talk more about it. Agenda number 4 is free education. Agenda number 5, reduction of VAT from 16% to 5% sales tax. When I say 5% sales tax, I mean that if you are not selling tangible goods, you are not charged 15%. Like law firms, you are not going to pay VAT. This will increase businesses and flow of cash among the people, and the problem of lacking cash in our pockets will be done. That is the real issues. So when I raise questions about how President Ruto is doing his own things, I have more than 1 million reasons. Thank you very much. My name is Joakim.